that symbol. That's a Phrygian cap. It stands for freedom, and that's a Masonic eye. Now those two come together in only one place. What's happening?
What up, y'all? It's the Dot Connector, and tonight, while the world is busy panicking, scrolling, consuming, and sleeping, something deeper is happening in the spirit. If you've been feeling drained, confused, exhausted, or spiritually attacked, that's not random. That's strategic, because the enemy knows he can't defeat God's people. So instead, he tries to distract, exhaust, and disarm them before the real battle even begins. Just look around. Fear is the new currency of control. This month alone, millions of Americans were terrified that food stamps wouldn't arrive because of the government shutdown. Families spent nights wondering, how are we going to eat? What will we do? That fear was not an accident. That fear was a weapon, because when you're worried about survival, you're too tired to pray. When you're stressed about food, you're not thinking about faith. When your mind is locked on crisis, your spirit becomes vulnerable. That's exactly how the enemy operates, not by overpowering you, but by overwhelming you. And when he's not exhausting you with fear, he's distracting you with pleasure, sports, scrolling, Netflix binges, TikTok loops, marathon gaming sessions. None of these things are evil by themselves, but they become spiritually ambushed when they replace your time with God. The devil doesn't need to make you sin. He just needs to make you busy, because a believer who's distracted is a believer who is disarmed. And that's why so many Christians today are spiritually weak. They're doing just enough to feel saved, but not enough to stay strong. They're not praying consistently, not reading the word, not studying, not fellowshipping, not fasting, and definitely not honoring the Sabbath. The modern church has accepted the lie that doing the bare minimum is enough. But here's the most dangerous lie the enemy whispers: Jesus died so you don't have to sacrifice anything. That is one of the greatest deceptions of this age. Yes, Christ fulfilled the law. Yes, salvation is a gift, but relationship requires commitment. Purpose requires discipline. Power requires obedience. The warriors God is raising, his chosen remnant, aren't formed by comfort. They're formed by sacrifice. And that's why honoring the Sabbath still matters. Not because we're under the law, but because it resets our spirit, reinforces our mind, breaks our addictions, and trains our heart to put God first in a world that constantly tries to shove him last. And if the enemy had his way, you'd be too tired to rest, too distracted to hear God, too spiritually numb to fight, and too spiritually starved to stand. But God is calling you higher, calling you deeper, calling you out of spiritual laziness and into spiritual warfare. Because before you can become a warrior king, you must break free from the chains the world calls normal. Tonight is not normal. Tonight is the Sabbath, and the king is calling his soldiers to attention.
The Dot Connector here. The transmission is unstable, but we're holding the line. Stay tuned. The final piece is about to be revealed.
Family, in a world where truth has become dangerous, every voice that speaks it becomes a target. They tried to silence this channel once, and while we made it through that storm, the truth is, we're still being watched. Every word, every frame, every truth we uncover makes us a bigger target. Your support has carried us through the darkest moments, and now, as we dive deeper into the agendas they don't want exposed, your help is more important than ever. If you value the mission, if these videos have opened your eyes, consider supporting the channel by using the donation links in the description. Every single gift, large or small, fuels the resistance against the digital lies of big tech and the spiritual wickedness in high places. Thank you for your love, support, and for walking this narrow path with me. My name is Devin Worlds, and we are the Dot Connectors.
Welcome back. You survived the blackout. The greatest show in the universe continues, and we are the Dot Connectors.
Tonight, we're diving deeper than headlines, deeper than conspiracies, deeper than chaos, because before God raises warriors, he trains them. Before he crowns kings, he breaks them free from the chains they didn't even know they were wearing. And right now, the Most High is putting his chosen through spiritual boot camp, test, trials, temptation, warfare, because what is coming isn't soft, easy, or normal. It's prophetic, it's global, it's spiritual. And tonight, on the Sabbath, God is calling his soldiers to his feet. You weren't born to be a spectator. You weren't saved to sit in silence. You were raised up for a time like this. But listen closely, a warrior is not chosen because he's strong. He becomes strong because he's chosen. And God trains his warriors the same way kings are trained. Trials sharpen the blade. Suffering purifies the heart. Silence strengthens the spirit. Obedience opens the eyes. So if your life has felt like warfare, if you've been hit with losses, heartbreaks, betrayals, financial collapse, loneliness, that wasn't punishment. That was training. A king must learn discipline. A warrior must learn endurance. A watchman must learn silence. A soldier must learn obedience. You're not being destroyed. You're being developed. Now let me tell you something the modern church avoids. Christians aren't required to keep the Sabbath. We're not under the law. Christ fulfilled the law. But hear me clearly. Just because you're not required to do something doesn't mean it isn't good for you. The Sabbath wasn't created for God. It was created for you. A day of rest, a day of realignment, a day of spiritual clarity, a day where the noise stops and the voice of God gets louder. In a world drowning in digital noise, AI voices, news alerts, propaganda, manipulation, mind control, temptation, the Sabbath becomes oxygen. It resets the mind. It purifies the heart. It recharges the spirit. It slams the door on Satan's distractions. Because a warrior who never rests becomes a casualty, but a warrior who honors God's rhythm becomes a conqueror. Here comes the part that might make some people uncomfortable, but truth doesn't exist to cushion feelings. The world celebrates holidays rooted in demons, pagan gods, and ancient witchcraft, Halloween, Christmas, Easter, Valentine's, Thanksgiving. Meanwhile, God gave us his own holy days packed with meaning, prophecy, joy, celebration, and spiritual power. And Christians wonder why the church feels spiritually weak, because we traded God's festivals for Satan's festivals. Let's break it down. Thanksgiving, a holiday rooted in Masonic symbolism, genocide, and national pride. Feast of Tabernacles, a 7-day celebration of God's presence, our spiritual freedom, joy, fasting, dancing, praising, remembering how God protects his people in the wilderness. Thanksgiving is one night. Tabernacles is a full week of joy in the presence of the Most High. Which one sounds more holy? Which one sounds more powerful? Which one strengthens warriors? Exactly. Christmas, a pagan mashup, Saturnalia, sun worship, Roman gods, pagan trees, gift offerings to idols. Now they twisted it even farther with Santa, elves, magic, and commercial idols. But Hanukkah, a celebration of light overcoming darkness, purity defeating corruption, God restoring his temple, warriors defending truth, miracles in the middle of oppression. Hanukkah is literally the feast of warriors, the feast of purification, the feast of spiritual rebellion against satanic systems. What could be more fitting for a believer in the last days? Why celebrate a pagan replacement when you can celebrate a holy day rooted in God's miracle of light? Most Christians have never been told this, but God's holy days aren't dry rituals. They're celebrations, dinners, family gatherings, music, feast, laughing, worship, community, prophecy, joy. They point to Christ. They point to redemption. They point to the kingdom. The world tries to hide the fun of God's festivals behind religious legalism. But when you actually experience them, you realize the devil tricked the church into giving up the most joy-filled days God ever gave us. And if we embrace God's holy days, we wouldn't need Satan's holidays. We wouldn't even want them. You're not just a believer. You are a warrior, a king in training, a soldier of the Most High. You were born for this generation, chosen for this moment, refined by the fire, strengthened through trials, awakened by the Holy Spirit. And tonight, the Sabbath marks the beginning of your next level. No more lukewarm faith, no more spiritual laziness, no more compromises, no more secret sins, no more fear. It's time to rise. It's time to train. It's time to fight. It's time to walk like a warrior king appointed by God himself. Because when the world collapses, when deception rises, when the beast system demands loyalty, only those who trained in the wilderness will survive the battlefield. So what about you? Will you rise when God calls your name? Will you embrace the training? Will you honor the Sabbath and resist the system? Let me know in the comments. Sound off and use hashtag God's Army. And as always, stay bold, stay faithful, stay ready, give your life to Christ. My name is Devin Worlds, and we are the Dot Connectors. Peace.
You cannot resist. No mercy! Roar for me! Arendite! Don't move! KO! Battle 2! Fight! Begin! You cannot resist. So naive. Scarlet Sleeve! Special attack! No mercy! Feel despair! Brace yourself! KO!
Stand. Fight to your last breath.
Battle 3. Fight!
Begin.
Leave! Don't move! You will be erased!
Pathetic. Feel despair. Brace yourself.
Special attack!
KO.
Battle 4. Fight!
Begin.
Proceed!
Begin.
Leave! You will be erased! It ends here! Chevalier! Monte! Curse your weakness. A storm's coming! Going in. Don't move!
Pathetic.
Despair!
KO.
Going in. Be gone. You are no threat to me.
A single slash can cut even the frozen air in two.
Why do you choose to fight?
My mission is what matters, not you. Battle 1. Fight! Leave! Despair! Charge! Despair!
Begin. Feel fear. Submit. Is that all? Not yet. Brace yourself. Right.
Battle 2. Fight! This will not. Receive. Rue your weakness.
Is that all? Begin.
Take this.
Is that all?
Receive. Rue your weakness. Battle 3. Fight. Take this. Fervor.
Yo.
Special attack. Don't move.
Pathetic.
Receive. Rue your weakness. No mercy. Special attack. A storm's coming.
Pathetic.
Receive. KO. Battle 4. Fight.
Begin. Pitiful. Not yet. Brace yourself. Pathetic. Begin.
Naive.
KO.
Stand. Fight to your last breath.
I shall get my
Final
own.
battle. Fight!
Submit.
Not a chance. Charge.
Begin.
Take this. Get out of my sight.
Begin. Is that all? Begin.
Shifting to counterattack. Guinevere's indiscretion. Deploy destructive order. Reckless.
Feel fear. Submit. Taste power. You're mine. Be gone. KO.
Claim victory and bask in the glory.
Be gone. There is no hope for you.